guys, so we just saw Detective Pikachu. Was it super effective against our expectations, or did it miss the audience entirely? Let's find out.
Take that.
I'm Manuel,
I'm Ted.
I'm Josh.
and this is Nerds Make Sense.
So, okay. Right off the bat, I think it was definitely way better than what any of us thought it was going to be.
I mean, I had high hopes, so
All right, yeah. So,
I was ready going in.
so when I first found out that it was Legendary doing it,
Oh yeah, Godzilla guys.
get
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla, Kong, and all that type of stuff. So I knew that was already the right direction. Sometimes, because anytime they make a movie about anything, I sort of look at the director and be like, you know what the fuck you're doing?
Like, who are you?
Yeah. So, like, most of the horror stuff got, like, their stuff. And so when they said it was Legendary Pictures, I knew that it was going the right way. And then on top of that, right after that, they showed Pikachu. Like, Pikachu's, like, the first one you've seen. So, like, I had high hopes way before. And then when I seen it, I was like, dude, this is better than I thought. Like, better than what I already expected, which was pretty high. So...
Yeah, I mean, it definitely blew my expectations out of the water.
I even told people ask me about it because they're like, dude, did you see it?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know there was gonna be a movie for a long time. I thought it was just a game.
When Josh, I told Josh about that. We talked about that a long time ago when they announced it.
Yeah.
And then when the trailer
Back
came,
when it was just you and
I
me.
forgot when the trailer came out, and I was like, I forgot this was a fucking movie.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap! And then I seen the scene. I was like, whoa!
Because I thought it was because when I remember them talking about it, and I thought it was gonna be a movie because I remember it was a big deal. Like, oh, who's gonna voice Pikachu? And I was like, oh, everybody was like, oh, Danny DeVito, whatever. I'm like, that's funny, that's hilarious, And then it just died down, and then like they brought it back up, and I was like, oh, Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, wait, what? and then there was like, oh yeah, here's a trailer. I'm like, oh, there's a movie. Okay.
Yeah, and the first trailer was pretty good, and then everything after that we got was.
Yeah, it made us.
And it was like one of
want to
those.
see it more.
And it was like one of those movies, because I mean I don't really see it with a lot of movies anymore that they had fun with their trailers.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how many different songs for that trailer?
Yep.
I never seen. I mean, I seen Shazam have 3 different songs. They had "My Name Is" by Eminem, and then they had I forgot his name. Fuck. I forgot what the fuck that's name. Man, they had 3 songs, dude.
Yeah.
And they fucking had 3 songs, and Detective Pikachu had like what 4, maybe 5.
Yeah,
It had a lot. And then there was just like a lot of other stuff that was happening. Like they were showing like, and then because of course it's Ryan Reynolds, so you just have his whole personality. When he talks about it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he actually had some input in
Oh,
those trailers.
absolutely.
And because when the like you seen the videos he put out about getting method acting. Remember?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
He was like, I was like, yeah, I drive my kid.
He put in a Pikachu suit.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I drive my kids to school, but you know what? I stopped because Pikachu doesn't do that. Pikachu doesn't have kids, so I don't have kids. And then his wife was like, he's a little bit too much into it. When he told me he didn't pick my kids up, I told him, what the heck is wrong with you? So, like, he was into it. And then before the movie came out, it was viral, the video.
It was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it was
he leaked.
Yeah, the leak.
Quotation marks.
The leak, yeah.
the movie.
And it's just Pikachu.
Pikachu dancing.
I sent it to a lot of people. It was funny.
You know what? I am going to actually admit this. I got fooled by it.
Dude, I did too. I clicked it.
I clicked it.
I knew what it
when
was.
When I actually saw pieces of the movie, I was like, okay, maybe this actually happened. And then it was nothing but Pikachu dancing. And I swear. But what's really sad is I sat there and watched it for at least 10 minutes.
Cute.
It was cute.
Yeah, but not 10 minutes worth of watching
I don't
cute.
know. I put it on and then I just let it sit. I was like, okay, there it is.
Because that dance is like from Key and Peele.
Oh yeah, it was Key and Peele sketch.
And it's funny because when everyone was talking about it, I forgot if it was Key or Peele. I don't know. One of them tweeted, "I need this cease and desist now," and he retweeted the video. I was like, "Oh, that's so funny."
That's hilarious.
But yeah, but they had a lot of fun with it. Ryan Reynolds had fun with just like it was like Deadpool. Like he had all those trailers, he had all those things, and then he went on. Oh God. I don't know if it was. I don't know what talk show he went on. I watched it. I think it was.
I don't know. It was probably Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the stuff. Or Conan, maybe. That's where a lot of nerd stuff happens.
I don't watch Conan, so
maybe Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. So he went on there. He was just like, dude, it's so fun. Like, it's so fun. Yeah. And then the one when the day before the movie came out at the red carpet, he asked him like how. I don't know what station it was, but they asked him like, how will this affect the people who actually love Pokemon? He was like, dude, if you love Pokemon, this will hit you right where it needs to hit you.
And it did.
It did. And like a lot of people joke, like even my cousin who told me he just seen it recently, he said he's like there had to be someone there be like, no, that's not Pokemon. This is Pokemon. Do it completely over. Like someone was that expert. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it had to be because there's a lot of stuff that no one would know unless they played Pokemon. You know.
It was a lot of because there was a lot of like in references. You know.
There was a lot
that weren't like because they like once you see it. Like I tried to when I was watching, I tried to like think of it as if I had never seen this before. Like, 'cause I know there's some parents who are probably there, probably not as many as there used to be, because most parents now are like 20, 30, and they have already grown up with Pokemon. But I'm pretty sure there was at least some people there who don't know all this what this stuff is about. Like they probably know Pikachu at least, but they're like, I don't know what any of this stuff means, and I don't know how battling and the moves, like what I don't know what that is. But then like there was just like little subtle things, and then. Like Ditto, like the Ditto's having its weird eyes. Like I thought that was like a subtle nod to like what we know about
so
Ditto,
creepy.
and it was funny. And then just a lot of little stuff, like there's enough there for the people who know this stuff in and out. You know?
And it was so crazy because like every like I always told everyone who asked me, I told them like this is probably if it's not the best, it set the bar that this is probably like one of the best video game things to live action there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because usually when you see the Mortal Kombat and then
those are bad.
What else?
Far Cry was terrible.
Okay, well let me say this about the first Mortal Kombat. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it also wasn't the worst.
I mean it was.
The second one was horrible.
Mortal Kombat is kind of cheesy in itself.
It is.
So the movie kind of fit that tone, but
the original one fit that, and of course, I mean, obviously, it delivered us the greatest theme song of all time.
Oh yeah, sure.
But I think the first Mortal Kombat movie fit more along the lines of the feel of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But yes, the second one was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
So
and I know I own both of them.
It was one of the best ones because like Manuel said, for people who don't know Pokemon, like there was because usually it's how it would go. It'd be like, oh, everything's normal, and then this portal opens up, and all these Pokemon come through.
Yeah, it would have been like something really crazy.
Yeah, but it started off in like a world of Pokemon. There was no explanation because
it's the Pokemon world.
Yeah,
and then you're like, and it introduces you to like all the concepts pretty well. Because of course, people who know Pokemon know that like everybody has like partner Pokemon and the Pokemon they travel with, and then Pokemon that live with them. Sometimes it's not like usually casual, and then you meet the main character and his friend. His friend's like, well, you don't have a Pokemon. That's really weird, and like it concerns me that you don't have a Pokemon. And so you get a feel for like what the situation is. Or like, oh, so if you don't have a Pokemon, you're kind of like a freak. You're fucking and then you just hear more about him, and he's like,
they literally live in a Pokemon world.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know,
and I also liked how well, for me as a Pokemon fan, that the world of Pokemon is catching, training, battling, or keeping as pets. But Rhyme City was like none of that because it was hand in hand. There was no They said there was no battling, there was no gyms, there's none of that.
I mean, obviously, we ended up finding out there's
underground rings. Yeah, because that would come. That's cool because that would come.
And you have to understand that is something that would happen if this was a real life situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely something that would
just
happen.
Like
it was like that part, like the part where you find like the underground fighting ring for Pokemon. It felt real enough. Like, it felt like something that would happen in the real world, but also, like, when you know Pokemon, you feel like that's something that would happen in the Pokemon world, because they weren't, like death battling. They were just battling.
No, it was just straight up battling.
They're like, oh, yeah, we're using water gun and this and whatever, and...
Although, when he popped that purple stuff, on the
Oh, yeah,
Charizard,
he went
and it
off
went
on us.
fucking crazy.
That
It wanted to eat that Pikachu as an appetizer.
that was a little concerning. If when you because you're like seeing him like, oh bro, he's not using like a flamethrower or anything. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, he's going to fucking kill you. Yeah, but the movie was good. Like I liked everything.
In the CGI, the way they did it and made the Pokemon, it blended seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the real people in the movie.
It didn't look weird. Like
no, it didn't at all. I think probably the weirdest one that to me was probably Psyduck. But even it still looked really good.
Yeah, it felt, and I kind of questioned when I first saw some of like the set photos or like one of the first trailers, how they gave him like, how they gave him like a texture. That kind of like unsettled me at first, but then like after I like looked at it for a while, I'm like, yeah, okay, of course if they're in the real world, of course they'll have some texture.
Yeah, and I know there were some things that made fans upset originally, like the way Jigglypuff ended up looking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you expect?
It is
a fur ball.
Yeah, they all have hair. Like that's something that the cartoon doesn't really show. Is that?
Well, yeah, but
because when you look at the cartoon, they're like, oh, it looks like
that.
it's like it's just made of skin or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
no, they're animals. They're covered in fur. You know.
I mean, I think the closest ones you probably get to are like the dog type Pokemon or the cat type Pokemon that you can actually see tufts of fur sticking up on or something like that. So like Growlithe and Arcanine, you can obviously see they have fur even in the anime. But
and so hold on, let me see. I took.
You can ask Ted. As soon as the Grouse popped up on screen, I told him I want one. I want one.
Oh, so
he said it hell a lot.
I had the same emotion when the Bulbasaur showed up. Because Bulbasaur is probably my favorite starter. Yeah. I really love Bulbasaur. It wasn't my first starter. It was probably honestly the last starter I ever tried. But like when I had it, like I was like, that's my boy. This is my boy. And I saw them all on screen. I was like, "Oh my god, look at him!" And I was with my friends, and then like there was one on screen. I was like, "Look at him!" And then there's like 5 on screen. I was like, "Oh my god, look at him!" So one of the things I did like as far as making references to Pokemon stuff that we know, like one of the main parts of the movie is based on the original Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
Like the Mewtwo story. So of course, if you're a fan of Pokemon, you already know that Mewtwo Strikes Back. You know, Team Rocket created Mewtwo in a lab, and he's got his whole sad backstory about the little girl and the clone and whatever. We don't need to worry about that because I'll just start crying.
It's in the original Pokemon games as well.
Yeah, and then of course it's in the original Pokemon games. And so like it's just that grabs your attention pretty well because you're like, oh, I remember this, like I know this, and then but it's also pretty easy. It's pretty easy, I think, for somebody first watching because they give you like a quick like summarization. You're like, oh well, most Pokemon are just animals, but I'm like, oh, this one was made. This is a man-made Pokemon, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah. And one thing that I was honestly surprised about was how much the story was oriented around Mewtwo. I thought he was just gonna be there, like he was gonna show up.
Yeah, that's when we seen the trailer together. I was like, oh, how the fuck?
Yeah,
because I was hoping.
We didn't know how he was gonna show up. We just knew he was gonna be there.
Yeah.
We had no idea going into it that the story was going to be centered around.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was just gonna be like a one-off reference, like, oh, there's Mewtwo.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was hoping he just didn't show up like.
Yeah.
You guys are bothering the fuck out of me. Like
I'm irritated. I'm Mewtwo. Here I am.
Yeah, I was like,
fuck. It was the way they did it was really well done.
I didn't think we was gonna see him like in the first beginning.
Oh yeah, I was like, just to see him within the first 5 minutes of the movie,
that was like, I was ready. I was so ready just on seeing that because I love.
He fucking killed somebody.
I love the original Pokemon movies. Like,
yeah.
I hope we get to talk about those. I love like the first 3 at least. Number 4 is pretty high up there for me. 5 Latios, yeah. Bro, I don't. If you gave me the list, I could tell you how far.
Kiss somebody, dude.
Yeah, animal
or girl,
bro. Okay, so if we do talk about those movies, let's save that for that.
Yeah,
because I have a whole thing with that.
I'm good with all of the Pokemon movies up until the voice actor change.
Oh, you know what? That's kind of where it gets me
and
too.
And it just kind of like it was
after like the 5th one.
It was too abrasive for me to just like continue on with the series after.
Because they did for that movie that came after that, they did re-record it with like because they gave the voice actors a second chance. Because like I think the first time they recorded it with the new voice actors, they didn't even tell them like who their characters were before. They're like, okay, so here's the script, get on it, and then you kind of hear it, and you're like, bro, they don't even know who they're playing.
Yeah, you see that in the Mirage Master. I think that's
it's the Mirage Master's one.
Yeah, because because that didn't even come into movies or DVD. It went straight to Kids WB as a special.
Yeah, it did.
And then when Lucario and Mew, Mystery Lucario and Mew DVD came out, the movie, it was just they gave it to you for free.
Yeah, I went to go to a So this is a funny story. I went to go to an event at a Toys R Us for Lucario and the Mystery Mew, where you brought your game in, and they gave you like a Mew that knew like Aura Sphere or something. Oh no, it was a Mew that knew something or other, because it wasn't Aura Sphere because that generation hadn't come out yet. It was for like Gen 3, right? And so you have like all these people lined up, right? I'm with my sister, my little sister, and my grandma to get this Mew. Right, and then there's a second table set up, and nobody knew what that was for. Like we were all in here, and like everybody's like, "Oh, you're here to get the Mew," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're here to get the Mew." And then Geoffrey, the giraffe in the mascot costume, he comes out, and everybody's like, and then so they start making like the staff start making heckin' noise, like, "Well, who's here for Geoffrey's birthday?" And everybody just like looks, and they're like. And then like Geoffrey kind of like made like this sad crying face, like he held his head in his hands, and I was like, is this mascot giraffe really crying? And I'm like 11, and I'm like I don't know what's happening right now. So my grandma and my sister were like, well, let's just get in the Geoffrey line. You can stay here and get your Pokemon. We'll go in the Geoffrey line to make him feel better. I'm like, bro, he just works here. I don't know what you guys are doing. He's not real. But yeah, that was just weird. That was just
come on, it's Geoffrey the giraffe, not Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, where's Geoffrey Giraffe now? He's gone. But yeah,
he's DOA.
Yeah. So this just it really brought back a lot of those.
Hold on. Geoffrey was in a battle against the banks. The banks used bankruptcy. It was super effective. What it KO fate.
Oh, there it goes. It's out.
Sorry, it's a Pokemon video. We gotta do it.
Oh God.
But what I was surprised about was like the plot of it, because like I knew of the game, because this is based off like sort of on the game.
Yeah,
so
I
never played it, but I knew of it. I already knew because a lot of Pokemon YouTubers I watched played it. So when I went into it, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna look up. I'm not gonna see. So
yeah, I kind of avoided a lot of it too, because I was worried, because a lot of people actually as many people as I thought would play a Pokemon game, even if it was like an off-brand Pokemon game. I thought more people would be talking about the game, but they really weren't. Like the only time I ever saw footage of it was when people were talking about the movie, but they didn't have footage from the movie yet.
Yeah.
So they were just throwing random footage from the game, and like the game kind of upset me because they made Pikachu walk like a person. Like he walked like this instead of like I don't know, like a Pikachu would.
like he does in the movie. Like that.
Yeah,
in the movie, he's got his hands tucked in front of him all the time.
Yeah, that's how Pikachu walks. That's how Pikachu walks in the game, in the show, in the show.
They were really faithful to the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it was basically a blending of the video games and the show.
Yeah. Because
obviously you had instead of the Pokemon growls or cries that you have in the video games, you actually had the Pokemon saying their name when they talked. So I mean that they obviously took from the anime.
Well, and then obviously there's the scene where he's sadly walking across the bridge and he's singing the Pokemon theme, and it was like
that was hilarious and meta all at the same time.
And I was losing it.
It kind of makes you wonder: does the anime exist in that world now?
Well,
I don't know.
So fun fact about that. So when Detective Pikachu, the trailer dropped, the first one, I want to say like shortly after, it was announced that there's two. I don't know if it was two or one, but I think there's two movies coming out based on Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh yeah.
And they coexist in the world of Detective Pikachu. So I guess you could say this is a video game world of Pokemon.
Okay.
So if that is in there, I mean, I wouldn't know if he knows it. It could just be a general theme song at all, like an anthem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be.
That's how
just
it could
one of those things that ends up being meta.
Because
I wonder what he does in like the other regions. I wonder what he sings.
Yeah, I know.
Because I know the theme is different depending on where you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be crazy.
But like what I liked it was the plot because I didn't see it coming when I seen it coming when I did see it coming I was like no fucking way like because I was like at first I was like he's just gonna find out his brother his dad was killed because he knew too much he was researching the purple mist which I think it was Team Rocket. Did they even fucking
I don't know if that was like necessarily what they're going for.
But they had the R.
Yeah, the R usually means like rocket or something.
Yeah, so
it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been, and then probably the next movie that's coming because they did announce that there is a sequel coming out.
Well, and so like the thing is too,
it's already been announced that there is a sequel in the works.
Yeah, so the thing is, a lot of people were mad that there wasn't like a hook for a new movie, like there wasn't like some cliffhanger, like on loose.
Josh talked
end.
about that at the
and
end.
I'm like, but they just set up a whole world for us to go into.
Exactly.
Like you don't need to like the hook is like around you. You could just have a story about anything. Like this one was about like a detective, and then it's somehow tied to like Pikachu. Like our story could go anywhere. There's so many things.
And Josh said that on the way home from the theater. He was just like. He was like, if they don't make a sequel to this movie was perfect on its own.
Exactly.
But there's so much there that they can't just not touch it again.
Right.
And like you see it because there's the red and blue movies coming out. So we could have the Detective Pikachu. We could actually have a trainer going to places that we follow on his journey. We could have, I don't know we could have the Mystery Dungeon stuff. That could be its own thing.
That could be tight too.
Yeah, because Mystery Dungeon is supposed to be. I never played, but a lot of people hype that up and say that's a really those are really good games. They were really solid. And I know that they did have a Mystery Dungeon cartoon show a long time ago.
Oh.
It was a one shot.
Yeah,
but it didn't go because the Pokemon were talking. But if you have live action and you see that Detective Pikachu, if you get the right actors and it's live action and it's like Detective Pikachu, you can go far with it.
Oh yeah.
If it's good, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to keep it with Legendary at this point because they've done such a good job.
Yeah,
I mean, you could easily, if they keep going with the formula that they've set up with Detective Pikachu, it could easily be an expansive cinematic universe on the lines of Marvel.
And then it wouldn't have to. Because the thing with Marvel is that these movies all have to like connect, and you have to see one person from one movie into the other one. But for this,
you've already established a connection with
but for this, like it doesn't really matter. Like as long as they just exist in the same world, and it being Pokemon, that's something that just so many people are familiar with. That if it'll resonate with them, and then even if they haven't seen Detective Pikachu yet, they'll still probably want to see this one if it has like a Pokemon they care about specifically. Like Pikachu is like the brand Pokemon. So, like, maybe we'll get one about, like, if we had one about, like, Lucario, that's me. Elekid, that's me. Of course, Bulbasaur, that's me. I'm there.
Yeah, just think if as much shit as the Pokemon Sun and Moon got for being, like too much hand-holding. Just think how if they made a movie about that, take away the trials, but investigating the Ultra Beasts.
Bro, because
in Hawaii, you know how beautiful that'll be fucking be. That'll be fucking beautiful,
dude.
Because just think about all the Pokemon we see in Detective Pikachu is like only a handful if you think about it, because most of them are duplicates.
I mean, we still saw a lot.
There was
there's almost 10,000 of them.
That was something I took note of, was that I liked the variety they had. Cause there was like a good majority of like first gen that people would recognize, but there was a lot of things that were from like sprinkled of other gens.
Seventh.
And but I want to say in all there was only like 20, 30 different Pokemon.
They showed it all in that when they had that dance with somebody. I forgot the name of that song. They showed you all of them. Those were all of them.
Yeah.
Bravery, Magikarp, Gyarados. They had all of them. Yeah. And that didn't make me mad.
I didn't mind. There's probably like a limitation to like animating where they can have that many rigs set up for that many different things.
I give them props too, because like they did just enough, but not too much. Because at one point, like if they had all 900 and whatever we have now, I'll be like, oh, okay, holy shit. As much as I love Pokemon,
it would have been impossible to do all in one.
It would have been so hard. It would have been so hard.
And they did such a great job with the 20, 30 Pokemon they had. It was pretty good.
And they were from basically every generation. It wasn't just limited to Gen 1 or 2 or whatever. It was, you had
and they all felt at place, like, because I thought it was a little neat nod that, like, the Growlithe and the Arcanines were working with, like, the police and stuff, and they had the, like, dog types. Because that was something.
What they set up in both the games and
the
and
all the games had that, too. And I was like, that makes sense. That feels right to me, like, when I see it,
Did you hear about the 2 Pokemon that almost didn't make it into the movie?
Which ones?
Lickitung and Mr. Mime.
Bro,
Lickitung was my favorite. I was the only one.
Mr. Mime, I guess the actual like Pokemon team when Legendary Pictures was like doing research for it,
dude.
And they tried to like reach out to them like, so what can you tell us about Mr. Mime? Like, he sucks and he's ugly, and they're like, but what does he do? Like, what is like? Can you give us some details? And like, you don't want him. Nobody likes him.
No, the thing about that.
I think the way they used him was perfect.
And that was funny.
The thing about Mr. Mime, well, Lickitung was almost not in there because they said that scene was disgusting. I fucking love Lickitung.
I hated that scene. It made me uncomfortable because like.
But that's what it was supposed to.
It was supposed to make you uncomfortable. I was like,
yeah, that's why he was like, is this someone's Lickitung?
I mean, you realize what the Lickitung was trying to do.
Yeah, it was trying to like cheer him up or something. Yeah. And I was like, that's fine, that's cute. But I was like, bro, if an animal came up to me and had a gross tongue like that and it just licked me and nobody stopped it, I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I can't. I was going to see my dead dad or something, but I'm like, no, I can't.
The funny thing about Mr. Mime was that it was sort of like what Manuel said, but when they asked, the only reason why it almost wasn't in there, because if you look at every other Pokemon, you could tell what it was. Bravery's a bird, Pangoro's a panda, Bulbasaur is like a fucking frog lizard thing.
Yeah, it was in like a walking onion or something.
Yeah, so when they had to describe Mr. Mime, they're like, we don't know what he is. And they're like, what do you mean? What you don't know what he is? Like, we don't know what he is. Maybe you don't want to use him because we don't really have a classification for him. He's not human, but he's not an animal.
Yeah,
but he's
that probably would have freaked out some people.
So they're like, so this thing that's not human and not an animal, so it's not classified as a Pokemon. It's just fucking walking around like
that you can still catch in a Pokeball,
and also knows how. Yeah, you can still catch in a Pokemon. So what is it? So they're like, maybe we shouldn't use it, but they use it as comedy because if you know Pokemon, you know he's a mime.
Yeah.
So they're trying to say it's like a mime, not a person. You know what I mean?
But one thing that
they
I
aren't.
noticed. Okay, so one thing that I really was kind of surprised by was the fact that in the movie he didn't talk, whereas in the anime he says Mr. Mime.
Yeah, he did. I think maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're like, well, if we make it talk, then is it a Pokemon? Like, no, it's a fucking.
Yeah. So it was. I don't know.
That part was my favorite.
It definitely was like a little weird. How they had to work around it. But what they did with it was. Yeah, it was good.
They killed him. They fucking killed him. They lit him on fire. they fucking killed him. So everyone
they killed that Mr. Mime.
So in the movie, they were doing the thing where they had big good cop, bad cop, and then Tim was acting like he was pouring gasoline.
Yeah. So the Mr. Mime wouldn't communicate with Pikachu because Pikachu was just talking to him. But then Tim was like, "Oh, I got it. I'll play his game." And so he started miming, going into his house, covering him in gasoline, and holding up a match. And Mr. Mime blew it out, and he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" So he backed away like 3 feet, poured some more gasoline in a trail. And he's like, "Well, now I got another one, and you can't pull this one out because you're inside your house." And Mr. Mime's like, oh shit, he's got me. I'm stuck in my imaginary house.
I forgot
covered in gasoline.
I forgot how they ended up dropping it, but it was funny because
they accidentally tossed it.
He was just like whatever, and then you just see Mr. Mime's face go like ah.
It was subtle because it did a noise.
Yeah.
And then it just cut, and I was like, oh shit. It was funny.
We're just not gonna talk about how we committed murder.
Yeah, and then they just hard cut to something else. That was pretty funny.
That was hands down probably the funniest part of the movie.
Oh, yeah. It was good. I was laughing. I was dying.
Yeah, but the plot. Yeah, well, I think I mentioned it, but the plot of it was pretty good. That the main guy, I forgot his name. Sorry.
The millionaire man.
Yeah, the guy who basically made this utopia Pokemon. He was diagnosed with something. And he said, "Fuck it, live life," and he just went on like an adventure to find a cure.
You know what I liked about it. I mean, because I like the story that they set up there. But like when I was told the story about the city, I was like, "Oh, he's a bad guy." And then they like threw me around. And they're like, "Oh, well, he's not the bad guy. His son's the bad guy." Okay, I guess it's. And then you went back around. And I was like, "Oh, he was the bad guy." And I was like, because I was like. I was like, oh, you guys played me. You guys played me. I got played.
When I seen that he had a fucking Arceus statue, I was like, oh, this man thinks he's God. Nah, he's not. He's not fucking good at all.
But he had the Sinnoh legendaries.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, and that's a little Easter egg in itself because that's Cyrus from Team Plasma. Not Plasma. Team
Who's Plasma?
Galactic.
Oh no, it was Galactic. Wait, Plasma was the next one.
Yeah, Team Galactic, and he wanted time and space to control, make his own universe, and then fucking Arceus is God, so he had basically a big ego, so he was up to no good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Basically, in the games, if you like those legendaries and everything, you have an ego.
You have a god complex.
Yeah, like shout out to my boy Sacred. He has a god complex. He did Sacred. He did this thing where it said show yourself as a cartoon. He put Arceus. He's like, I don't need anyone to debate with me. So when I seen that, he was like Manuel said, he got me. I was like, oh, so the son's fucking jealous and wants to be.
Yeah.
And then when they went to his thing and I seen his office, I was like, oh no, this is.
And then I was like, because it wasn't like too complex. You know,
they couldn't make it too complex.
And normally I don't like it when things just like outright lie to me. But like they weren't lying to me; they were just like expecting me to expect something. And then when they showed me what I didn't expect, I was like, okay, I guess I was wrong. And then they were like, well, it is what you expect. Trick. People, and it wasn't like them lying; it was like people lying. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. The characters lie all the time. That's fine.
Yes.
And so like it was a complex enough.
Yeah, and then
for me to enjoy it.
The guy's idea of him wanting to actually, be cured, I guess you want to say, and then take control of, because Mewtwo Mewtwo was like all powerful, basically in connection with the gas. Mm-hmm. And emotion, like raw, like fear and like emotion. Yeah. His psychic powers could basically switch bodies, was like inherit the body. Yeah. So so he got Mewtwo, and then he just dumped that shit all the balloons in the parade.
Yeah. The one thing that didn't quite make sense to me was that, well, I guess this is just a Pokemon villain thing, is that where I don't know why he felt the need that he needed to switch everybody else's bodies too. When he
basically, that is a Pokemon thing, because I guess it's like basically saying,
it's like, well,
this cured me. You all should know this.
Like, I want the world to be how I am. It's my world now.
Yeah, and then in a sense, if you think about it, if he switched everybody into Pokemon, then who's really gonna stop him? He's fucking Mewtwo. Yeah. Other than a fucking Weedle.
A Weedle. Like, I'm gonna use my psychic. Like, oh, I didn't do anything.
I know. Fucking, just fucking all the bug Pokemon.
The one Weedle.
Yeah.
What's a legendary bug Pokemon? Fucking.
Is there one?
Yeah, it's an Ultra Beast, but.
Oh, well, those aren't like legendaries.
Yeah, those technically aren't legendaries.
They're not even technically Pokemon.
Well, they're not.
Genesect.
Oh, there you go. No, is that bug? Oh, it is a bug. Yeah.
Steel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Genesect. Get him.
Yeah. No.
But Genesect can change its typing, can't it?
Yeah, it can.
No way.
Oh,
bro, I'm so out of loop with Pokemon, bro.
Yeah,
you can tell me anything right now, and I'll believe you.
You put cassette tapes in them, and
okay, now you're fucking.
No, it's called, it's a disc. It's like, since it's like you put disc. It's like Arceus, like the plate.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
And then with Savali and the.
Oh, the Type Null.
Type Null in the fucking USBs.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Okay, no, you know what? I believe you now.
Why the fuck are there a lot of those? Why can't they?
I don't know, bro.
I just thought about that. What the fuck?
That's such a, I don't know.
But yeah, so that's probably why he wanted to do it, because he was like, if anyone's a fucking, and then in all, at the end, basically, he just needed to pull the thing off him anyway, so anyone.
Yeah, bro. I don't know why he didn't like secure it on himself first, where he's like, let me put my soul or whatever into this body, since I'm already controlling the Mewtwo. Might as well do it. And he was like, no, the helmet's fine. Helmet's good. Let me do everybody else, and then maybe we'll figure myself out.
Well, here's the thing. Why make it to where you have to keep the helmet on in order to maintain control?
They could
exactly.
Why not develop a device that permanently transferred that we wouldn't have to worry about you eventually?
Yeah, and that's all just like movie logic. You're like, well, we have to have a way for he can fix everything.
They had to have a way for the heroes to win.
They could have dived into lore and just used the dream.
Oh, bro, that's too complicated. People, if you try to put that in the movie, people are like, well, what the fuck's happening, dude? People still don't understand Inception. You want them to like throw that into Pokemon now? Like,
yeah, there's still a ton of arguments going on.
Like, people are like, no, he was dreaming the whole time. No, he's awake. No, in fact, this whole movie didn't happen. Like, because I choose not to see it.
That would have been the worst thing for them to do, honestly.
Yeah. But I like the idea of, because I was like, that's in Pokemon, you usually see something over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I feel like now, like after this one, they could definitely play with some of those other things. Like I feel like I personally want them to do some space stuff. I
do the Ultra
loved
Beasts.
Deoxys. Deoxys is one of my favorites.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Jirachi is also from space, I think.
Yeah, he's from Shooting Star.
Yeah. Any of that stuff.
Clefairy.
Is that why you like
Pink?
that? No,
is that like why you like Pink?
No.
They came from space, bro.
Bro, I don't care.
They came from the moon.
Nobody likes them.
Dude, in competitive, Clefairy is a thing, dude.
Yeah, well, so is Snorlax, but you know.
Is Snorlax on you? I'll look that up.
I mean, I don't know how competitive Snorlax can actually be with the fact that he's a normal type.
So is Clefairy. Oh, they're fairy type now.
Yeah, they're fairy types.
Bro,
suck it.
The only fairy type I care about is Mimikyu. So, give me like a Ghostbusters themed like Pokemon movie and Mimikyu's in it. Oh, bro, I'm all over it. I'm there day one.
That could definitely be something they could do for the next Detective Pikachu movie.
Dude, they should do like a haunted house movie, but with Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Halloween one.
Bro, that'd be tight.
That was something we didn't see. I don't think we saw a single ghost type.
Gengar and Gundam.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
Gengar was in
the
thing. Oh, bro, speaking of that scene, was it Loudrins or Explouds? Oh, they were Loudrins. They were beatboxing with dubstep, and I was like, what?
That was so cool.
What?
And that's something like, and even in the show, because in the show and in the games, with Loudred, it's just screaming and yelling. They don't. And that
was absolutely like an original creation that they decided to do. Like the Mr. Mime thing, where they decided to not make him speak and to actually be like a mime. And that's like one of the liberties they took that I was actually really happy with, because it was really creative.
It's not even like they went out like right field with it, because with me, like I told Josh, like I wrote a Pokemon fan fiction and I dive into some stuff that isn't touched. And like if you would have came to me, like, all right, Ted, we're making Detective Pikachu, we're using Loudred. Can he do music? Why the fuck can't he? He's a fucking he has
sound Pokemon.
He has fucking speakers in his fucking ear. So could he sing? I don't think he can sing, but he could probably do some beats.
Some 808s.
No, they had the Explode, and that motherfucker just screaming that. That shit you put on after work from manual fucking.
Oh yeah, that's what I did today at work. I was playing my loud
fucking
like
rock
screamo music,
so
and everybody's like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "We gotta go. We can't be here no more."
Yeah, they're like, all you hear is. And
bro,
they're like, bro,
let's have that movie, dude. Let's have like a screamo Pokemon band.
And, yeah, so and this opens infinite doors, like we said in the beginning, because there can be, because there's a lot of stuff about Pokemon kidnapping kids.
Oh, bro, I hope to God we don't have to see some of that, because that stuff will scare children
if there's
forever.
Like, bro, is there a clown Pokemon?
Mr. Mime.
No.
Yeah, that's the closest
that's
one.
The closest
bro,
one.
they can do an It one. They have different. Bro, that'll be fucking fresh.
Mr. Mime.
Oh yeah, bro, that'll be fucking
Mime
fresh.
Jr.
Yeah, bro, and then they could do a haunted house one, like you said. They can do the space stuff.
Bro,
there's so much stuff they can do as long as they do it correctly and have the right voice actors to do it. They can do anything, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, because
unless they fuck up on, because even in was it 5th gen? Yeah, even in 5th gen, the where Team Plasma is just like, dude, y'all know you're using animals to fucking fight each other. You know that's fucked up, right? Yeah. and then that even threw me for the twist when they were fighting for Pokemon battles to stop. The leader's like, fuck it, dude. I wasn't doing that. you know, the leader basically said, like, yeah, dude, I'm just using this
fuck
shit.
Fuck that nonsense.
I'm just trying to get control of these Pokemon really quick.
I'm just in it.
Yeah, so they can even go around that route, because that could be like something. Because a lot of stuff isn't touched, because they had a whole game on it, but
so that'd be interesting where you do like a movie, like because I've always wanted like the games to do this, but if you did a movie in like the eyes of like one of those teams, and you're like, but they have like a Just Cause, or like,
I actually just
trying to do something.
What if they took an element from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and used that into making a movie?
Which one?
And that's the multiverse.
Oh, that thing, bro! I don't know about that, bro.
This is already like a multiverse in a sense, because you can think about it like that. Because,
but I'm talking about like Giovanni making the out of
Yeah,
all
see,
the
with
other
that would need build up though, because with everything else, we're just using like Pokemon and like just like a figurative thing, if that makes sense.
That could be like their in game.
Yeah, basically because like they'll need build up for it because then you need to explain all the different team leaders
and all their like ideologies.
If anything, if you would just throw that out there, that'll be like the fucking hardcore people knowing, and that's not a lot of. I mean, it would be a lot of people, but not enough like for people. Because like you could honestly because the multiverse is like because this is a part of it too. Because this is like video games inside of each other, live action. Because you have the video games, and then you got the live action stuff that's already being video game world. Then you got the real world, which will be the games, and then you got the anime, and then you got you know the movies because the movies are their own. So that's all like its own little thing already. So it's just adding to their bigger multiverse of things.
I mean that's easily something they could do. Like they could introduce Team Rocket. They could introduce Magma and.
I'd actually like to see like its own team. You know, like since
maybe
I know they said it was like one specific region that Rhyme City's in, like one that we know of already. It was like Kanto or Johto or something like one of them.
They didn't even mention what it was.
They didn't mention a region.
Didn't
they just said
no, because they had a Sinnoh poster on the wall. They had the Kanto.
You're right.
There were references to other regions, but they never said where Rhyme City.
So I'd like for it to have its own like criminal team.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll probably be better because everything else is gonna be build up. Because I'm gonna be honest, like some of the fucking like Team Skull, like they're kind of not they weren't bad, but they're just like
Team Skull they were just hooligans.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's fine. they were just hanging out.
Yes, but like some of them are gonna be kind of boring.
Yeah,
because like Team Rocket is like the gangsters, you know, stealers and stuff. Like a lot of other like not a lot of other people try to steal Pokemon. The bad people.
Yeah. And so the thing is too, like they're not locked into like a specific genre of movie.
Nope.
Because this was like a mystery movie, and it had like regular like Pokemon elements in it, which were of course are like sci-fi fantasy stuff. Yeah. So they could do like anything.
Yeah, like I said, they could do like your thing. They could do horror if they wanted to.
They could do because then it wouldn't have to be like even like that much horror or anything like.
We're not killing people. Yeah, it could scare you. There's Pokemon that are fucking scary, dude. Giratina fucking scares the fuck out of me.
It could be anything. Because I know there's an idea going around that people were talking about, like, oh, they want to make a Star Is Born type movie with Jigglypuff. I'm like, that'd be cute. That'd be tight.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch it.
And that in itself is a shout out to the show because they had that with Psyduck and I think it was Psyduck. Because remember it was like they go to Hollywood. That's the only place they mentioned that in the real world they went to Hollywood because the producer did it. And it was Psyduck and I think a Clefable or something.
Yeah, that'd be.
And it was a love story. Remember, because they had that Meowth thing, and Meowth was like, "Oh, Hollywood, I came back."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it showed you how you learned how to talk.
That was tight.
So shout out to that.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, performing like fucking Glee and shit, bro. That'd be
like
fucking
Glee,
bro.
High School Musical.
Fucking Pitch Perfect, bro.
Bro, what if they did a Pokemon musical? Like it's just straight up musical.
Bro, I'll fucking watch, bro. Bro, remember the fucking Death Note's getting a musical. Remember that?
Bro, yeah, I knew that. Well, anything, dude, a lot of things in Japan get musicals.
Death Note's getting a fucking new
God.
Well, bro, because so the things for like anime in Japan is like you get a manga, then an anime, then a live action drama, and then from the drama you're like, oh, then we have a stage play, and in the stage play sometimes you go to the musical, and it will go through all those iterations of things, and I'm like, well, that's wild. I can't imagine being that interested in something where I would, I lied. I just now thought of like all of my favorite things as musical stage plays. I'm like, I would watch all of them.
Dude, I can't wait till this gets big and we get to see Detective Pikachu on Ice.
Oh, dude,
that'd be fucking crazy.
Bro, they already have Avengers on Ice. Let's go.
Bro, yeah, bro, that'd be fucking crazy.
Detective Pikachu on Ice.
They did have Avengers on Ice. Huh?
Yeah.
I wanted to go to that. No one wanted to go with me.
Oh, bro.
I was like, fuck.
That was at like the Arco Arena in like Sacramento or something.
Yeah, it was. Bro, that'd be fucking crazy.
Dude, I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited for what can happen. They don't have to tell me anything, bro. They can just they're just like, oh, here's the new movie, go see it. And I'm like, all right, here I go.
And they did, and like I said, they did so good at keeping it all hush hush. Because like when the trailer came out, I fucking forgot about it. Not like oh, it was boring if I forgot about it, but like they didn't. There was nothing really on it other than Ryan Reynolds doing it.
Yeah.
And like some other key like people like the guy from fucking Fallen Kingdom from Jurassic Park playing Tim.
Yeah.
And I didn't fucking know anything. The trailer came out, and I was like,
and then,
bro, you teased me. And then another trailer came out, I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on? This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There was no leaks or anything like in the actual Pokemon games. There was nothing. There was no leaked footage other than Ryan Reynolds leaked footage. And, and then, so...
Well, I mean, because it came out in the time where everybody was focused on Endgame. Endgame was like last month.
Well, that too, and it could be that the expectations were that it was going to be terrible, so
yeah,
nobody bothered with
because,
it.
Like we said, every video game movie up until this one had been just trash.
Yeah,
I think the only one I think I actually like is like Silent Hill, but people don't really care that much about Silent Hill because Silent Hill's something that you experience. And so it doesn't transfer over well to a movie.
You got Resident Evil. Do you know
Resident Evil? I like those movies. I wouldn't say they're good movies or good video game movies either.
Yeah, they're not.
They're like whatever. It's like, yeah, I like zombie movies. The movies with zombies in them, I'll watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And like up until like the first two are okay, they're bearable. After that, I do not know what the fuck is happening anymore. And I'm like, I thought I was just like not up to date with the games. I was like, okay, I've only played a few games. I'm like, maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe I need to play more Resident Evil games. I played some Resident Evil games, more of them. I played like 4 after watching that movie because I think I grew up on like 2 and maybe 3, but like 2 definitely. So I played like 4 and then I played 5, played some of 6, and I was like, the movies didn't talk about any of this. What is?
I remember watching. I forgot what fucking Resident Evil was. We went to go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And my friend at the time was a huge Resident Evil fan. Mm-hmm. And then these people popped up. He goes, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Oh, bro, who are they?" He goes, "Those are the people from the game."
There were, and then they were like, they weren't even important.
Yeah, they were like side characters.
We had to care about Mila Jovovich, and I'm like, I like her. She's cool. She was a tight character. I'm like, but if you're gonna put the main people into this movie. Yeah, from the game, and then you're gonna have them be side characters, and then like some of them die or something, and
yeah, that's what. Because I was like, oh, those from the game, so shit's about to get real, and then they left. I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, and yeah, so I personally think the video game movie curse is finally broken. I think we are now gonna take them seriously because I think just the climate of movies right now, we are actually making faithful adaptations of things. Like the Marvel movies have been really good. They, I know not everybody's happy with them. I'm not gonna talk about DC. I'm not even gonna bring them up. And then just so many other things, like because there even more comic book movies are coming out, and then like the new Godzillas are more. They fit more to what we know about these things, and they're not
and they
terrible.
They simplify it, like
we'll and so it's like and I think that's what a lot of people's problems were with these things is that. When they made them, back then, like the 90s and 80s, whenever they had video game movies, they were afraid that the major consumer, I guess, wouldn't get what the hell's going on. Yeah. And so they tried to reinvent it in a way that we could palate it, but then you get stuff like the Mario movie, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on in the Mario movie. We're supposed to be in the Mushroom Kingdom, but we're in like underneath the world, and it's like it's shitty, and there's no toads, and
that was crazy.
Bowser's like a man. I don't know.
Bro, that was a fucking...
Wasn't Yoshi also, like, just a dude?
He was a dinosaur.
Was he a dinosaur?
He was a straight-up dinosaur.
Oh, God.
Bro, and yeah, he was kept on a leash.
And I know that, what's-his-face, Bob Hoskins was, like, drunk during that whole movie. And he had a broken hand and everything.
They both hated the movie.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Bro, that movie was fucking crazy.
So, and then you get these things that are, like, where I think these, like nerd, hashtag... quotation mark nerd culture is just more commonplace now. So now actors actually know these things and they're like actually excited and amped up to be a part of them.
Yeah, because
it's not such a bad thing to be a nerd anymore.
Yeah. It's not like a niche. It's like there's like because like science fiction is like in it. Fantasy is like in it now. Like people actually like these things and everybody's like, oh shit, that stuff was lit. Like where we been at? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I've been on it since day one.
Like on 21 Jump Street, remember when they went in there and they were trying to try to be cool, and he was like, dude, the fucking environment is sacred, bro. You like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like.
Bro, but then also in the same movie, they taught Channing Tatum science. She's like, well, "That's awesome!" And they like made rockets and everything. You thought it was tight. I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like we've been telling you."
Yeah, this is shit we've been doing. Pokemon, this is shit we've been liking. Superheroes, this is shit that's
Yeah, I know. You know, and then I don't know. And I know a lot of people are upset about that. Like conceptually, they're like, "Oh, well, it's mainstream now. I can't like it anymore." I'm like, "What's the problem with liking?"
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, it's that's good. You know, when your stuff gets more attention, you get more content of it. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then so we end up here, and here we are. Because before people just saw things that were like popular with a specific audience, and they're like, okay, we're gonna take it and we're gonna do whatever we want with it, and then whatever we put out, you're gonna like it because you love this stuff so much, And then and then now here we are, and we got something that's actually good. I would say like even if even if I was to like be super critical of this movie, it'd still be like at least a B plus,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's good. That's watchable. You watch it more than once. You'd recommend it to somebody. It's really good. I'm really happy with where we are.
Yeah.
Now there is one scene in the movie, and it's an absolutely crazy scene that I want to talk about, and it's the Torterra scene.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot all
that.
about that.
Yeah, that because I was thinking too. I was thinking, I'm like that, and then because they just don't talk about it anymore. I'm like, but that just made some crazy implications. Like, aren't they just all on the Torterras right now? And I'm like, and like that reminded me of like the this old story about the woman in like some like theology class or whatever, and they're like and they're talking about God and all this other stuff. She's like, oh well, the world's on a turtle's back, and then and then they try and she's like, oh what's the turtle on it? It's like, oh, it's turtles all the way down. And so that's just what I thought. And I'm like, oh my god.
It reminded me of Avatar as well.
Oh yeah. Because that's
tiger turtles, lion turtles.
And that was
originally okay. So originally, I thought when the ground started moving, I was like, because they talked about the experiments to grow Torterras,
and then the Torterras you see are like little, or like regular size.
But it's like originally I thought it was just one Torterra, but then when like the land started folding in on itself, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
how is that even possible?
And at the very and then they were like,
and then
Pikachu said something.
Of them.
Pikachu said something about like, it was like, oh, it's okay, we're dreaming. We went into shock and we fell asleep, and then they get hit or something. He's like, never mind, I lied.
Yeah, because if you remember when you first seen that scene in the trailer, they paired it up with Psyduck being his psychic powers. Because if you remember, he screamed. If you go back and watch the trailer, he screamed, and then all that shit happening. So it's like, oh, it's Psyduck.
And that's kind of, and then that's what I was like thinking. I'm like, oh, bro, they're in like a super psychic.
Yeah, because they hyped up Psyduck
or something.
Yeah,
right now.
okay.
Because they hyped up Psyduck so much. Because they're like, because even in the car, I was like, you're telling me we're listening to this elevator music because if you get mad and angry,
your brain will explode.
You're gonna explode. And Psyduck, and he was like, no, I'm not giving you a foot massage. So like I was like, oh fuck, they're building it up. So that's what it was. But yeah, even because at the end of the movie, they're like, oh yeah, there's like you were on this before. They told the girl, I forgot the girl's name, fucking
I
the reporter chick.
Yeah, and then he was like, you were on this before anyone else. You go on there telling that we're gonna stop everything. And I lean over to Josh. How the fuck are they gonna stop those Torterras? I was just like, bro. And I love Torterra. When I found out he was gonna be in the movie, I was like, oh, that's so cool. But then I was like, oh fuck, hold up. I don't know. And how they got away with it? Or like or if they were okay with it.
Yeah, it's like, how do you misplace giant fucking Pokemon?
Not
like
even
that?
misplace it. That was in their thing.
They know they're there. Like, because when you go out there, it's just out into the open, field.
It went out there.
So they obviously know that the Torterra are out there.
Yeah, because like, how does nobody else know it though?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, this city has to be built on one of them, bro. How far out are they? Yeah. I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just had so many questions, and then they stopped talking about it. I was like,
that's something they can go into.
Okay, sure.
And that's something they can go into later.
I don't know if they will. I feel like we'll just see it on we'll hear it on like a news headline in like another movie.
Didn't they say that they were gonna try and reverse the experiments?
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah.
So those Torterras will probably go back to normal size. But you got to realize now that because those Torterras are gone, there's going to be giant craters in the land out
mass.
there.
And then they were like close to like the ocean or something, so it's like going to be like a lake or something now.
Yeah, because
crazy.
Yeah, they said they were gonna reverse it because I forgot what other Pokemon were being. Oh yeah, the Greninjas.
The Greninjas.
What the fuck?
They were just trying to make them stronger, and I think I think they made them more aggro.
Yeah.
Because they were stronger or something.
So yeah, those Greninjas were cool.
That was tight. Yeah, I like Greninja. Greninja is a cool Pokemon, so I'm glad they got a spotlight. And Apom, I actually do like Apom.
Me too. I like Apom.
I know a lot of people don't like the movies Apom because like it made it look kind of scary. And I'm like, but they were like crazy.
Yeah,
they were like rabid.
When they were in their rabid form,
like that was scary. It reminded me of like Gremlins. Like a little bit. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
I don't like it.
It's fucking bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I love this movie. I'm gonna buy it on still case.
Oh, cool. That means I'll get the digital copy code.
Manual gets I give Manual all my digital copies.
Yeah, so I have to watch John Wick now. I watched all the Planet of the Apes movies.
So you know what? I'm gonna make an announcement right here and now.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu was going to be my first 4K buy.
Oh yeah.
Because, and I'll tell you why. I just got myself a new television.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be 4K.
Go.
Infinity War was my.
Hook it up.
Oh,
is there anything else we need to cover? Because I know we've covered pretty much everything.
I think that's it. Like I think that's all I want. Hold on, let me check. Let me
check your notes.
Check my memory. I don't have a notebook.
But yeah, I mean, after this, I feel really excited about where they can go from here.
Yeah.
It's just it was done really well. I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's everything I want to talk about.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't have any like negative things to say.
As a hardcore Pokemon fan like I am, I loved it, and also as a person who like goes to movies open minded.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about Pokemon, you're not gonna miss anything. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's another thing why I wanted to not do the rehashing of the entire story. I know where there are some spoilers in here.
Oh yeah. I want to tell you guys one spoiler alert that I was told and I didn't believe. Spoiler alert: Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. That
was unnecessary. That you shouldn't have done.
That might not make sense until you see the final ending scene of the movie. I'm gonna let you know it is a real spoiler.
That was not cool. I might edit that out. I may actually edit that out just because of the fact that I want people to go see the movie.
Oh yeah.
I do while it's still in theaters, and I want them to buy the movie when it comes out.
You should bleep it. You should replace it with something. Replace it. Here.
Fuck.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give you a list of words to say. I'm gonna say it right now. You can choose which one to film it.
Just edit it in there.
Deoxys, Mewtwo, Deadpool. What's the guy in Avengers?
Which one? There's a ton of them.
With the eye patch.
Nick Fury?
Nick Fury's in this movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so
Pikachu's in the movie too.
Spoiler alert, Pikachu is in this movie.
Overall, all jokes aside, this movie was amazing.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And then, dude, can I talk about the credits? There's no end credit scene, guys. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, there's no end credit scene.
Can I talk about the credits?
Yeah.
The credits played the Pokemon theme music, and everything that you've seen in the movie is animated in the cartoon form.
Yeah. Also the video game style too.
Yeah, the video game style. It's so fucking cool.
It's each character has like they gave him like they would if they were a trainer in a game.
Yeah, the trainer.
It
like
was so.
If you ever bought the like the strategy guides for Pokemon or anything,
just seen any of the art.
They
that's what
did
it was.
Such a fucking amazing job. That was probably like one of my favorite parts. Because I recorded it. Me and Josh sat through the whole thing because we thought that was the end credit thing.
Yeah,
but it was
I did
well, I was kind of the idea that there wasn't going to be one, but I wanted to be sure.
I can't take the chance anymore.
Yeah, Marvel has kind of ruined us.
Because even though like some of the Marvel movies hadn't had some, and people tell you like, oh yeah, there's no end credit scene. I'm like, no, I can't trust you.
Well, at first they were doing the end credit scene at the very end, but then they started doing it in the middle of the credits.
Well, then
like
they started
before the long black screen.
Yeah, then they started doing both.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like the earlier one would set up something for either the sequel to whatever it was, or they would just be the next movie.
Yeah,
and then the scene at the very end of the credits would be something just had to do either it would be more world building or it would have something to do with the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, no end credits here. No setup. I know that. Like I said, I know that's something people were mad about.
There's no setup, but the opportunity.
The movie itself was set up enough.
Well, there's no definite setup for what we know. Like they didn't tell us what we can expect. Well, we just know that there's gonna be more Pokemon stuff. And that's good enough. That's all I need to hear. I just like Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm
great.
definitely hyped for a sequel and anything else that they come up with at this point.
Absolutely. I hope I hope we get like more like cross promotional stuff with this stuff too, because the Pokemon Go had its little event.
They had the card.
They had the thing with
too.
7-Eleven. Oh yeah, and the card games, like all this stuff. I like.
That's
that is something I wanted to talk about while we're on the subject of Pokemon movies. Because I was reminded of when it was finally announced and that like I had the date and I was like ready to go watch it. I was reminded of what the general scene was when the first Pokemon movies came out. And so, because I have the DVDs of those movies, and I used to watch them endlessly. Like they are scratched, they are fucked up. I can't watch them anymore, right? But on the special features of those things, the special features of those things, there were concerts for the premiere. There were like all these people there. Like they would go out. They had like an American Idol style thing where they like sought out a young singer, and they're like, "We want you to sing this new theme for the Pokemon movie," and they went and like sought her out, and like she had audition tapes, and they interviewed her and all this other stuff, and you're like, yeah, here's her dream and whatever, and that was like Pokemon 2 or 3, I think, and like Kel Mitchell hosted it, and I was like, what? I'm like watching it because I didn't even realize it was him when I first seen it, and then I became more familiar with who he is as a person, and I was like, oh my god, that's fucking Kel Mitchell, it's fucking Good Burger, like that's him, and just all this stuff, and then like they had like these concert with like all these groups doing like Pokemon songs, and then like was it like Whitney Houston or something did one for like the third Pokemon movie or the second Pokemon movie, The Power of One or whatever. Was it Whitney Houston? Oh, it might not be Whitney Houston.
I don't know.
Or like Diane Sawyer or something. I don't remember. One of the really famous like older like black women who have like the really powerful voices. Like she did something. Weird Al did a song for the Pokemon.
Dude,
like, the
I love
Pokemon
that
movie.
one.
And he like his joke, and I'm glad he stuck with it, was polka. Like music, polka music, Pokemon, and he had the things, and I was it was just super stupid, and he just went with it, and I'm like, well, if I didn't know anything about Pokemon and I had to make a joke about it, that's probably what I'd do as well,
Donna Summer,
there we go, and so just that, like I just got recalled all back to that, and how big it is, and I'm glad Pokemon has this staying power, because I was like, that has to be 15 plus years ago, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah,
that those movies came out.
I was surprised by how many people our age were there in the theater.
There was like for me and your theater, there was probably like what? I'm gonna say like 10 kids. I'm gonna say like 10 kids.
I'd have to say 95% was people around our age.
Yeah, because we were there pretty early, so we seen everyone come in. There was probably like 4 kids down there. There's all these guys with their kids.
There was one kid that would not shut up.
Oh, I know. I felt
but
that.
It was cute. It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I kind of adored that. Like, because I know I could see the kids were getting excited when I was getting excited, and
it's like it didn't really annoy me at all.
Yeah, because it was just, well, of course they're excited. They loved it so much. Like. I've definitely been in movies where people did talk too much and said too much, and I've definitely been that person in the movie because I get in it, I get invested, and so it was just a good wholesome experience all around to be in that environment. Like there was nobody there who like was upset during this movie. Everybody was having a good time, and it was just, I don't know. Good shit.
But so the fan base is there for this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And they know that now because it did so well. It did like didn't they say it beat out Endgame in like the first
it beat out
Endgame?
It's doing really well. Right now.
Yeah. So
I think financially far better than anybody ever thought it would.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So get ready. We'll be talking about all of them. I guarantee it.
And as soon as we have more, we'll come at you guys with updated news on it.
Get ready for it.
That's it, right?
I think that's just about it.
Yeah, so I guess that'll conclude it for now. Our opinions are go watch, yes?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Go watch.
Watch it, buy it.
I mean, if you're just going to see it once, go see it in the theaters.
Yeah, it's
go for the experience.
It's a good theater experience. It really is.
I mean, I probably overall grade, I'd give it a solid A.
Yeah.
Yeah, an A.
It was great. I'd say A minus.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah. So I think that we've talked about just about everything we wanted to.
Yep.
Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what your
like,
favorite.
Comment, subscribe. Tell us what your favorite Pokemon are. Tell us
what
if
your favorite scene is from the movie.
Tell us if your favorite Pokemon was in Pikachu, and then somebody in the comments will tell you if you're wrong that your Pokemon was actually in there. I guarantee that'll happen. I'll do it. I'll go in there. You'll be like, oh, my favorite Pokemon was Caterpie, but it wasn't in there. And we're like, oh, wrong. Caterpies were in there. They were just really small.
Dude, and then let us know in the comments. What is Mr. Mime?
Yeah, what is Mr. Mime?
What do you think he is?
Yeah, what do you think?
Is he human?
Does he have rights? I say no.
Can he drive a car?
Does he have rights?
I say no.
Oh God!
Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter and our
Facebook I
page.
just made an Instagram specifically for this.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it is already, but we'll link it. Maybe.
Yeah.
They'll tag us on the regular one.
Nerd Makes Sense Manual.
Nerds Make Sense Manual.
And R.I.P. Geoffrey Giraffe.
Yeah. Let's get that. Let's talk about that.
Get that rolling.
Rip Geoffrey.
Right.
But yeah, so you can, of course, as they mentioned, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I personally want to apologize real quick because my work has been hectic the last couple of weeks, so there has not been. We have not been posting on our social media a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
We're going to try and get back to that. We're going to try and giving you guys updates and content. We've got a lot of good stuff in the works coming. We're really working hard on some stuff on some new series for you guys. I think each of us, of course, Ted has his nerd nonsense, but I think Manuel and I are both coming up with stuff that we're going to be doing kind of solo.
Have so many ideas.
Yeah.
Be prepared for some weird stuff.
Yeah, so we've got plans for a lot more content on, over the week, to come to you over the week. So plan for a lot more stuff coming from us in the near future.
Yep.
And you can you can email us at nerdsmakesense@yahoo.com. We've got that too. Nobody uses it. I don't know why. Send us your ideas. Send us topics you want to hear us talk about.
I want your criticisms of me as a person. I want you to really rip into me, roast.
Tell him tell the new guy how bad he is.
And ladies, he's single.
Click. Let's go.
I don't think he wants to be ripped in like that.
Trying to help him out. But all right, guys, we will catch you in the next one, everybody. So
we'll see you later.
Asta.
Bye.